The entire past week was festive in the cave. They either inaugurated a godlike rat, or marched in front of it on May 9, promising great retribution to the Western world and collecting tens of thousands of organisms for a march on Kharkov. But there were also missed ones from the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Basically, these were attacks on the oil refinery in Belgorod, which had already been favored by the witches of war. On Friday night, for the second time since mid-March, it flew through the Kaluga refinery. The main complex for processing commercial oil and gas condensate, the largest oil refining enterprise in Russia, with a nominal capacity of 1.2 million tons per year, caught fire. But the vindictive Kremlin also celebrated the successes of its hybrid activities. Pro-Palestinian protest, encouraged by Moscow and Tehran, is gaining strength around the world. Either in US universities or on European student campuses, young people are excited with enviable regularity, fueled by shadow propagandists who throw seeds of anti-Semitism into fragile minds. Even the Biden administration has threatened to cut off arms shipments if the Israeli army enters Rafah. The homegrown fool did not bypass even the harmless Eurovision competition in Sweden, attacking police cars accompanying the contestant, a representative of Israel. And this is the first part of the Kremlin ballet, which will only develop every day. After all, there are big events ahead in Europe: the World Hockey Championship, the European Football Championship and, finally, the Olympic Games in France. Macron proposes concluding a truce during the Olympics, freezing all conflicts. But Israel will not stop until it destroys Hamas, and Putin even more so. His goal is to capture all of Ukraine, and war and death guarantee him power and life. So at the Olympics, not only sports passions will rage, but the rat's ability to spoil humanity will manifest itself in full force. Sabotage and terrorist attacks should keep the Kremlin's opponents on edge. The Kremlin's immediate task is to take as many territories as possible before American help arrives. Nuclear show-offs fanned out from the front podium and the hungover pages of Medvedimka are intended to scare the West into supporting Ukraine. The Kremlin is afraid that the collective West will decide to create a pro-Ukrainian anti-Putin coalition, bypassing NATO. Because it's one thing to squeal about a hybrid war with a hated alliance, and quite another to come under real attack from the West, which is bigger, stronger and has more modern types of weapons. Xi Jinping's visit to France, his meeting with Ursula von der Leyen and Macron, excited Putin. Even more alarming is the signing of an agreement between China and Serbia on building a common future, bypassing Moscow, which yesterday was Belgrade's main partner, and which today Beijing is literally smearing across the political board. For example, Comrade Xi vowed to Macron not to sell weapons to Russia. China has also significantly raised duties on Russia. Nevertheless, putting aside the grievances, Putin intends to rush to Beijing and literally beg the little panda not to abandon the bald monkey halfway. But, judging by the panda's latest European adventures, the Kremlin rat meat will be received warmly and affectionately, and then it turns out that it was just a well-scented fluffy ass. In the meantime, Putin is busy shuffling the supreme heads of the fur farm. Reappointed Mishustin to the post of head of the government. Wool experts predict Patrushev Jr. to be appointed deputy prime minister, which will qualitatively strengthen the influence of this FSB clan. But everyone is waiting. What will happen to Shoigu? In the paradigm of the coming change of elites from the old, snickering ones, to the young, hungry and ready for any atrocities at the cattle station, it would be logical to blame all the failures on the tiger reindeer herder and his entourage, after which with new howls, rush to Ukraine, growling and frightening Western Easter cakes. So far, these are heart-rending demonstrative tests of the readiness of non-strategic nuclear forces for their possible use, together with Russia's satellite, Belarus. And attacks on Ukraine with ballistic missiles from the south and north simultaneously. Putin needs maximum success while Ukraine is weakened. And he's in a hurry. The head of the German Ministry of Defense said that Germany will purchase 3 HIMARS multiple launch rocket systems from the United States and transfer them to Kyiv. Before meeting with Pentagon Chief Austin, Pistorius visited a defense company that produces Patriot and Stinger, as well as missiles of various classes and types, and agreed on a possible reduction in delivery times for military products. And Lithuanian Foreign Minister Landsbergis did not rule out sending Lithuanian military specialists to Ukraine as soon as it requests it. Europe is at a low start, preparing to repel any Russian attack, hybrid or overt. Schematicians were also pressed on the issue of using Starlink technologies. The United States has blocked the illegal use of Starlink satellite terminals by the Russian army. Deputy Secretary of Defense for Space Affairs John Plum announced the solution to this problem. The season of final showdowns with the cave begins. The traps are set. All that remains is to force the rat to commit an act of despair, after which she will not live.